Good evening, Facebook community. This is Jennifer with Uplifting Life Naturally, just hopping on here for my evening live broadcast. I am going to finish up part 2 in talking about emotional eating. For those of you who had hopped on last evening, we talked about some of, the reasons why that we, eat, and it isn't always necessarily because we're hungry, but sometimes because, we're just stressed out and we're eating according to our emotions. So what I wanted to talk about tonight was, how do we identify if what we're, when we go to eat, are we eating, out of, based on our emotions, or are we really hungry? And, from personal experience, I know for a fact that, I just know I struggled with this. And once I became more aware of it, I was able to get it under, much better control. So I wanted to share a couple of ways that you can, determine if when you go to eat, are you eating, because you're hungry, or just based on your emotions. So the first sign is that you're going for something to eat, or you're feeling like you need to eat something, but you really don't have any of those physiological signs of hunger. Your stomach's not growling, you're not feeling worn out, or, lack of energy. Overall, you feel really good, you just feel the need to eat. So very likely that is not eating out of hunger, but rather based on your emotions. If you continue to eat various things, as I know I've been guilty of, but you can't find anything that just seems to satisfy that hunger, that too is often an indicator that you're not eating because you're hungry, but more so based on your emotions. And hi everybody, thanks for hopping on. I see quite a bit of you on here. I appreciate the support. Third is, your desire to eat is just, simply based on your emotion. And that's probably the one I still struggle with. I've, been able to identify signs of hunger and realizing sometimes I just go to eat just to eat, and I'm able to stop myself. But, like I said, the one I struggle with is still, when I, I'm feeling really stressed out. And to be honest with you, it's usually right after I get home from work. I'm usually hungry, and, I walk through the door. You can imagine what it's like with the kids. Those who have kids can totally understand that. And everybody just needs and wants, and, I'm already tired and stressed out and hungry, and I find myself just grabbing the cookies, grabbing the chips, whatever is around. And I still struggle with that a lot more than I'd like to admit, even this far into my own health and fitness journey, but I'm still working on it. So just a minute. So once you identify that, okay, you are somebody who struggles with emotional eating, what do you do about it? So the first thing you need to do is cut yourself a break. Don't beat yourself up over it. When we do that, we just cause more stress, and more stress causes more stress eating. So, just be thankful that you're able to identify it. Have some compassion for yourself. You deserve it. And, decide that you're going to make change and you're going to do something about it. So when you, go to eat and you feel, and again, usually when we're eating out of emotions, we're going for those high carbohydrate foods, the high sugar foods, the, your chips, things high in fat, that type of thing. So, that's usually one clue that that you're not necessarily just eating out of hunger. If that's the case, you'd probably maybe grab an apple, or some carrot sticks if you have those in the fridge, something healthy. So anytime you feel that you start to gravitate towards those snacks, stop and pause for a minute, and take notice of what you're feeling, what your thoughts are. And, also stop for a second and think, am I really hungry, or am I just eating to eat? I mean, oftentimes we do this and we're not even aware of it. We just mindlessly eat and things. So once you do that and take a few minutes to pause, if you identify that, okay, I'm really not hungry, then make that conscious decision to, you're not going to have that cookie, you're not going to have those chips. Even if, you cannot hold off on that desire, for good and just totally walk away from it. The simple fact that you're able to stop and control the fact that you're not going to eat it, at least right then and there, even if it's a minute or two later, that's, one step towards working, towards breaking that bad habit. And each time it does get easier, I promise that. So just, take those couple of steps. If you identify that it is eating out of stress, if you're able to walk away, go for, a brief walk, go outside, change, wherever you're at, if that's at all possible, that helps. But the other thing that I find helps me a lot is just drinking a glass of water. Sometimes I need that just to really, control not consuming whatever it is at my fingertips. So drinking a glass of water in place of whatever snack you have often helps as well. So those are a couple of things that I found helpful with my stress and emotional eating. Like I said, I think the biggest factor is identifying it and being aware that you're doing it, and then taking those conscious steps to, to put an end to it. So, it can be a bad habit here and there. Picking at something isn't a problem, but it's when we make a bad habit out of it that, we tend to put on that weight unnecessarily, and that's when it becomes not a good thing. So it's time to make a change. So I was able to identify that. If that's you, I'm sure you will be able to as well. If you have any questions, please put them in the comments below.